Santiago, coming down the staircase to the living room, was approached by David. "Santiago, I need some money," David said. In awe, Santiago looked at David and smiled trickily. "You need money for what exactly? Didn't I transfer $20,000 to you last week?" With arrogance, David said, "Yes. I spent it now. I need more." Santiago, trying to walk out of him, was being dragged by David. "Come here, you moron. What right do you have to ask how I spent my money? It is our father's money. I can spend it however I like." Santiago released himself in that process. Sophia came and shouted, "Will you two stop fighting for God's sake?" Santiago replied, "Talk to David." Then he pecked her on the cheek and said, "Bye, mother," and she replied, "Have a good day, son," while David walked climbing the stairs with rage. David storms and has picked up his phone furious and called Eric. Eric picked the phone and said, "Hello, boss." David replied and said, "You moron, why is the plan taking too long? I need to get rid of him now." Eric said, "Patience, boss, I'm still trying to convince my cousin Michael to drive the truck. He's the only person I trust." The following week, David arrived in Cancun to meet the girl he has been talking to over the phone, Jacqueline. David, waiting for Jacqueline in a restaurant, saw her alighting from a cab. He immediately stood up and went towards her. She looked anxious but yet happy to finally meet the lover she has been talking to for the past 3 months. He held her hand and gave her a gentle kiss and said, "How are you, babe? Hope to have a lot of appetite. I ordered some chiles and nagada for us." She smiled, "How nice, thank you." They sat and talked. A few minutes after they were served their food, after eating, David called a waiter and tell him to bring the dessert he ordered. The waiter came with a plate. Jacqueline opened it and saw a little note saying, "Will you marry me?" She was surprised, looking straight in David's eyes. David said, "Will you marry me, Jackie?" She chuckled and said yes. David put the ring on her finger. They both stood up and hugged. With joy in Jacqueline's heart, she opened her apartment singing. Upon getting inside, she met her younger sister Paula. Paula said, "What's up, sis?" Jackie replied, "Hi, sis," smiling. Paula said, "What's the occasion? Why are you all bloomy?" Jackie said, "Guess what, I'm engaged." Paula shouted, "What, how?" Jackie said, "David proposed." Paula jumped and hugged Jacqueline, saying, "I'm happy for you, sis." The following week, David and Jacqueline wed in the presence of a Judge Romero, Pedro, who is Jackie's father, a woman and man hired by David to disguise as his parents.